Thanks for checking out the channel, everyone. I'm Mike, and this is Gladiator Journey. It's May. It's been a cold winter, and it's 2023. I am ready to get out of Columbus and start my annual trip westward as I usually do and explore our great country. My first stop this year was supposed to be Missouri, but when I arrived at the campground that I had scoped out online in Mark Twain National Forest, I was met by a closed and locked gate with a sign reading, "Campground closed, do not enter." So I ended up having to reroute to a motel for that night and continue west the following day, where I stopped near Shore Lake, Arkansas. I left Ohio on May 26th. So I wanted to grab the best camp spot I could find, especially considering I was in an established National Forest campground. And with Memorial Day approaching, I knew it would be pretty likely that people would leave work early for the week and start trying to find their own little piece of paradise for the holiday weekend. With the long drive that I had put behind me for the day, I wanted to get my tent set up as quickly as possible so I could get everything inside. I needed to get inside it before any rain might start and be able to get a campfire started so that I could possibly cook on that rather than having to break all of my kitchen and cookware out in order just to make a dinner. So I made quick work of getting the tent set up and getting it staked down. After the tent was all set up and everything was ready to go, I started a campfire. It wasn't dark yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get it started so that I could use it to cook on, rather than having to dirty a lot of cookware first thing. I also took this time to pull the plastic bins out of the back of the truck with all of my camping gear in them. That way, made everything that much more accessible. Like I said, I really didn't feel like breaking out the camp stove this early in the evening, so it would be an aluminum foil on the campfire kind of dinner tonight. What I had on the menu for the night were potatoes, corn on the cob, and some Polish sausage. After cutting up the potatoes, I grabbed the corn on the cob and cut that up into smaller pieces so it would both cook more quickly and be a little easier to eat, especially coming off the campfire. I've always been a fan of simplicity when it comes to cooking during camping, because who wants a lot of dishes to clean up? And at the same time, who wants to spend a lot of time cooking on a stove? When you've already got an active campfire, you can just use some aluminum foil, put all your ingredients in there that you need to make a good meal, and cook it right on the open campfire, right on the open flames, rather than trying to prepare things on a stove that are probably going to get ready at different times. I've always been a fan of throwing it all together in a big piece of aluminum foil and cooking it right on the campfire. That way everything's done at the same time, you have your whole meal ready, and you can just eat and enjoy. Luckily, with this just 3 basic ingredients of corn on the cob, potatoes, and Polish sausage, it was pretty quick to prepare. And once I had the potatoes cut up and placed in the aluminum foil, cut the corn on the cob up into bite-sized pieces, all I really had left to do was to cut up the sausage in the sizes that I wanted, throw it in the aluminum foil, and throw it on the campfire. So I got everything cut up that I needed. Put all the seasonings in that I wanted, which was really just nothing more than salt and pepper and some oregano. Folded up the aluminum foil and got ready to put this on the campfire. And then I realized, wait a minute, I forgot one thing. Butter. Butter makes everything better. So, sliced off a large piece of butter, opened up the aluminum foil and threw that in, and then went over to the campfire and began cooking my dinner. A concoction like this only has to spend 20-ish minutes on a good campfire or embers, and you have yourself an awesome meal. Once dinner came to a close and I had a little time to sit around the campfire with a couple of drinks, it was time to turn in for the night and listen to the sounds of Arkansas in the evening. Before I knew it, it was morning and time to get up and start my day. I don't know about you, but the first thing on my agenda for the morning is always a cup of coffee. Well, or a pot, one of the two. But camping usually ends up being a cup or two. So I go to the coffee press and prepare myself my morning cup of joe. Unless I'm doing instant coffee, I find the coffee press is just the simplest way to go when it comes to morning coffee. After throwing your coffee into the press, all you have to do is dump your boiling water in, give it time to steep, and then press the coffee and pour into your cup. It makes it all very simple, and it makes a delicious cup of coffee. After about 3 to 4 minutes of steeping, it's time to press the coffee and pour and enjoy. After coffee, it's breakfast time, and I'm doing bacon today with, well, this is my normal camping breakfast. Bacon, potatoes, and eggs. Once in a while I will bring some pancake mix because pancakes are always good as well, but usually when I have more people and not just me. I always throw the bacon in the cast iron first to give myself a nice layer of grease to begin cooking the potatoes. I know I'm a little meticulous about how I cut my potatoes up, but I like them to be just the right size so that they cook properly in the skillet based on what kind of a breakfast I'd like to have. But if I dice them at just the right size, I don't have any issues with overcooking or undercooking. And after I'm done with the potatoes, I throw the eggs in, and voila, I have a nice breakfast to enjoy. After breakfast and my cleanup of my stove and utensils and such, decided to head out and explore the area to see what I could find. I didn't have to get very far at all down the same road I was camping on before I ran across some elk. I apologize for the reflection on the windshield. It was a very bright day. And obviously, the night before, I did not do a very good job at cleaning my windshield from all the bugs that I hit on the way in. I didn't want to spook them and make them run off too quickly, so I just slowed down and gave them a little time to find which direction they wanted to go. These particular elk are called Merriam elk and are a subspecies of North American elk. I will fast forward the rest of this drive for you. This is the area of the East Fork of the Black River. And this East Fork area had some spectacular views and a lot of campsites. There were along the river both established campsites and places that you could disperse camp as well. I was actually surprised at the number of dispersed camping areas that were dispersed, but within a pretty close proximity to established campgrounds and places available, which makes it, of course, easier to get things like drinking water if you have to. Although most folks who are used to dispersed camping are familiar with the fact that you don't often have a place to get things like water. So most of that stuff you have to bring with you. I decided while I was out driving around that I would stop by a location that I had passed the day prior that I had momentary cell signal. I would be leaving tomorrow and wanted to fire up Google Maps to make my way out of this area to my cousin's house. And unfortunately, when I got to that area, I got the kind of news you never want to get when you're remote camping and very far from home. When it gets right down to it, we do not have long on this planet. So go see things you've never seen. Visit places you've never been before. See people you haven't seen in a long time. But whatever you do, you're not going to be able to do it from your couch. So get up, get out, explore the country you live in. Take advantage of your ability to get out and see the majesty of creation and transformation and how the earth works. If you have the will to get out and do these things and see these things, the only thing we're really short on in this world is time.